Well, it looks like we have ourselves a little problem when it comes to this Philadelphia plane crash investigation. As of right now, at the time of this recording, investigators cannot find the black box. Now, by black box, I know it's an orange box, but you guys know what I'm talking about. Investigators cannot find it right now. You know, they have the roads blocked off around the wreckage. You would think they would have found it by now, but it is nowhere to be found. Nowhere to be found at all. And now I'm wondering, like, where in the heck is it? But before I go any further into that, we'll get into more of that in just a moment. I want to know from you all, because right now, I'm kind of skeptical about the numbers that we're getting, and I'm wondering if any of you all feel the same. Now, to be clear, I'm not suggesting that they're hiding the numbers from us. That's not what I'm saying here. I'm just questioning if they would really be able to identify some of the people here on the ground, because right now, the number is that 7 people lost their lives in this tragic accident. Of course, 6 were on board the plane. They say only 1 person on the ground was unalived by the plane crash, someone that I believe was sitting in their car. Now, if you've seen what I've seen, and trust me, you don't want to see what I've seen. You do not want to see some of the videos and some of the footage that is floating around right now from this wreckage. I wish I hadn't seen it. I will never be able to unsee it. It's like some traumatizing stuff. It's some of the worst stuff that I've personally seen in my life. But if you've seen what I've seen, you know that it's going to be hard to identify some of these people. And I don't want to be... It's going to be hard to identify which parts belong to who and what. It's just everywhere, folks. And I'm questioning, you know, how do we not know that there were other people on the ground that were basically just eviscerated by this plane crash? You know, not everyone has someone to speak for them. Not everyone has a family member or a loved one that would know that they've gone missing or that they're gone, that they just got wiped out by a plane falling out of the sky. There could have been homeless people on the street, you name it. If you look at where this plane crashed, traffic was kind of busy. It's right next to these homes. There's people walking across the street. There's people eating right here. There's people shopping right there. I just think it's very likely that there could be other people that were caught up in this plane crash that may never even be identified, because there's not really much left to identify. So, I mean, I don't want to go into graphic detail, but I'm just wondering if in the coming days we'll learn, oh, hey, maybe this person, is missing, but it winded up they were caught up in the plane crash, because it's hard to explain what I'm saying without showing you, but I can't show you here, and I wouldn't show you here. I've posted a couple of videos on X, but I'm not even going to show some of this stuff there. But if you've seen what I'm talking about, then you know what I'm talking about here. It's very likely that people could have been struck in this plane crash, and we'll never know unless someone who loves them and cares about them realizes that they haven't shown up home or they're not answering their phone calls, in the days to come. But as far as the black box goes, that's what we're here to mainly focus on, because that has not been found yet. In fact, I want to go ahead and roll this news clip. They were just talking about this moments ago. And then after this clip, I'll be right back with more.
Live with more from Philadelphia. Obviously, behind you, we see those flashing lights. Clearly still a zone where people are not allowed in. What more are you learning from all of this?
Right, Adrian, and we've actually seen people from the community come up and try to see the scene for themselves. We actually were talking to some of the witnesses, and one told me that anytime they cook food at home, it reminds them of that burnt smell that they experienced whenever that crash happened on Friday night around 6 o'clock. It was a busy time right in front of a shopping area, and it was definitely a thing that was emotional for the people who saw it. Now, the National Transportation Safety Board, they're still investigating. They did release new video showing the aftermath, and and how investigators were trying to piece it all together, it essentially looks like a crater in the middle of this parking lot, entering a parking lot. Now, we also saw earlier today some video of an excavator digging out different cars, because we saw multiple cars that were burned there as well, smaller debris that we've seen, and then that giant crater where that plane went down. Now, investigators say that they're still looking for that black box voice recorder that will have key information as to potentially how and why this happened. But right now, they're still looking for any kind of debris that's left over from this plane crash. And right now, it's spanning about 4 to 6 blocks out. So it's a wide parameter they're working with right now, Adrian.
And do we know anything more about those voice recorders? I know they had asked people in the community, the business owners, residents, if you see something, don't touch the debris, just call us.
Yeah, exactly. And it's called a black box, but it is kind of misleading because it's actually orange in color. And remember, it came from a plane that was crashing down, so it may not look exactly the way that it was before. It could be damaged and messed up, but it will help investigators try to piece everything together. They would take it back to their lab and be able to see what was said. Now, investigators are working 24/7. The city also saying that it's going to take time. We actually heard from one of the Philadelphia city officials earlier today saying that as much as people want answers right now, they really need to stay calm because it's going to be a long investigation.
We have to do this right. The outcome of the investigation matters. It matters to the people, to the families that are affected, who were affected by this. It matters for safety going forward for all of us.
And we know that there are still 5 people that are in the hospital right now in critical condition, and the mayor saying that additional people were also injured as well. It's been up to about 22 people were injured, and that number could increase.
Now, I've seen planes like crash in the ocean in the past, and I believe they have like underwater locator beacons and stuff like that. So why don't we have like GPS or trackers in these black boxes? It's the year 2025. What's the point of a black box if you don't have some type of way to locate the black box? Shouldn't you have a tracker in the black box? I mean, for God's sake, they track us with everything we do. If you even mention something around your cell phone or your iPad, they'll send you an ad for it right there on your phone next time you get on social media. They track us nonstop. Hell, I mean, think about it. When you go to take a poop and you're scrolling through your cell phone already knows what to show you because they know what you do. They know what you say. They know where you're at. But who knows where the black box is, right? Where could that be in the year 2025 when we prioritize spying on people as they scroll through social media instead of locating black boxes? But you know, a lot of plane crashes, you know, like I said, sometimes they're in the ocean or they're in a more widespread area, somewhere in a forest or a field. Here, this crash site seems to be more contained than a lot of crash sites. I think that's safe to say. Now, if you've watched my past videos, you know that some of this debris flew for like blocks away. People that were over a quarter mile away were getting hit by debris from this airplane. So I understand, you know, that things are going to fly as the explosion and things are going to fly and go over here and go over there. I get that. But you would think that by now they would kind of know where the black box is. It couldn't have gone too far, right? And that, you know, we've talked about the location of this plane crash. How I think that maybe there's more people who were hurt or killed in this plane crash that we don't know about yet. But also the location of this plane crash, it makes you wonder. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if this black box shows up at a pawn shop somewhere. Like some crackhead on the street probably has the black box trying to sell it right now. I mean, I'm not even joking. If they can't find the black box, you know what that means? Someone else did. That's what that means. Someone took it home as a souvenir. Someone's trying to get the copper out of it right now. someone's trying to get whatever money they can from it. Maybe they'll call the news and say, hey, I got the black box, but you need to give me this. Like, for real. I mean, what other explanation do we have? Because this thing should not be impossible to find. It's not 30 leagues under the sea. It's somewhere within a block or two of this plane crash. You would think that they have scoured every square inch by now. But hey, I don't know. I'm not there. But you all let me know what you think about this down in the comments below. While you're down there, hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe, ring that notification bell, and I'll talk to you all soon in the next one.